What's up, guys? Welcome back to another podcast with the Main Beam. I'm one of your hosts, Alan Retchen.
Brady Stockman.
Landon Stockman.
Tonight we have a couple guests on.
Steve Sanders.
Drake Buckholt.
Tonight they're going to be doing a rap battle between the both of them. So
Let's go!
I got a pretty sick flow.
No, we got probably two of the coolest dudes that we've ever hunted with up here in Iowa at Allen's place. He unfortunately moved back from Missouri back to Iowa.
yeah, they're just so cool. I mean, they're cooler than Landon and
We
Brady.
were so awful down in Missouri. We made you move back.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's all right. You guys just can't compete with me.
No, but seriously, we're here with two of the coolest guys we've ever hunted with. We got Drake, Steve. I guess we'll start with how you guys how Alan met you guys and kind of how you guys started hunting together, because we didn't really get to know you guys until we start coming up with Alan.
Yeah, just a year ago?
Yeah.
Not
even a year ago, last snow
think
goose season.
March. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. Let me go again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right. So I guess I met Steve. We had mutual buddies. They met at, I guess, a party. Quentin.
Yeah, I met
Something.
them
It was
from
Steve Wardlow and
some of the center.
Lindemann and all them. Met Steve through Quentin. We hunted I think 2 years ago here in a few weeks. Is when I first met him, and we hunted the last day of South Zone goose in Iowa. And after that, I kind of kept in touch with him, and we hunted snow geese. And that's when I met Drake. Actually, it was my first snow goose hunt. So
Really?
yeah.
So you've known Steve a little longer than Drake?
Yeah, probably month and a half longer. I mean, we didn't really start talking much till snow goose season got into full swing, but once that hit, it was pretty.
Was that last snow goose season? Or not last year, but 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago. Yeah, sick. Yeah, so then I guess we kind of, after we kind of got back in touch with you, and then we come up.
You guys came up to the Deer Classic.
That's right.
And we went to, I think, was it Friday?
Yeah,
we
snow
went to
goose.
Friday.
We went to Friday Deer Classic, left to shoot snows.
We shot snows Saturday morning, and then we left around noon to go back to the Deer Classic.
Yep, and then we came back to shoot them again.
Sunday morning.
Yep, and then we end up coming back up.
I think a month later.
Yeah, a couple weeks or a month later to shoot snows again because you guys were whacking the piss out of them.
Yeah, 2 weeks after the Deer Classic, they shot.
How many snows did you guys end up killing last year? Did you keep a complete total?
I think 490.
490, and if you add the two from this fall, we're at 492 in the year 2023.
Wow. That's
smoking them.
That's impressive.
And that's between, I guess, Iowa, Missouri, and then Nodak.
South Dakota.
South Dakota, that's right.
I'd have been there, but I didn't have a gun, so.
Yep.
Yeah, I got run over, unfortunately.
Damn you, big country. Oh, shoot.
You got your gun fixed, though?
Yeah. Yeah, no. In that process, I bought a second one, so now I have two.
Yeah, I bought one from a buddy of mine.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's never a bad thing.
2 A400s, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that like an A800 together, or is that just...
Yeah, I tape them together and
Double barrel.
yeah, double barrel.
No wonder you guys killed so many snows last year.
Yeah, you
no
don't need an
shit.
extension tube if you got two guns.
No.
So I guess I've never really asked you guys, I don't think, but how did both of you get into waterfowl hunting? Like, kind of what started it? Did your parents do it, or what led you into it?
Steve, you want to go first? Yours is a little longer than mine is, probably.
Yeah. I'll say my dad was a big deer hunter growing up out in northwest Nebraska, and when they'd go waterfowling, their waterfowling was jumping over cattle ponds and stuff, over berms and shoot whatever was on it. Yeah, I think my grandpa did a little bit of decoy hunting back in the day, but I don't think he really took my dad. But when my dad moved to Iowa, he spit out me and my brothers, and he was trying to think of something to do with three little rowdy kids, and deer hunting wasn't all the best thing to take.
That's hilarious.
Couple little goons on. So he's like, well, what's something that we can do where they just got to shut up and be still for just a couple seconds? He's like, well, we'll try our hand at duck hunting. So he went and bought a couple Walmart decoys and had none of us could call or nothing. Hell, he didn't
Still
even know where
can't.
to go.
I
Yeah.
still can't.
No,
I won't even attempt to call because I can't do it.
and him and Dylan still haven't learned. They've been doing this since I think we started back by ourselves in 2012, but we went in 2011 with one of my dad's buddies that took us on a honker pond. I had a single shot 20 gauge, and I remember we went and kicked up a pond full of birds and set up under them, and we had some honkers come in and they let me shoot one, and that was my first ever bird. My dad kind of realized, like, okay, yeah, this is something we can take.
Little more exciting than just sitting in the deer stand.
Exactly. And I couldn't sit still to save my life.
Was your first one a one shell, one kill, or what?
Yeah, I think I shot twice. Shot at that goose, then shot at some gadwall or something flying over. I had no idea what gadwall or mallards or wood ducks were. But I saw that. My dad and him shot a couple. I was like, this is pretty cool. But yeah, that was my first time really waterfowling. Then my dad and I thought we'd pick it up and do it ourselves. And our first year, I don't think we set decoys once. We were just
Really?
shooting sons of guns. We had the same creek that we would push every day after school and every Saturday and Sunday and just shoot the crap out of wood ducks.
That's cool though. It's kind of cool to see just where it all starts and where it evolves to. I feel like deer hunting's the same way. It's like some people start with whether you're deer driving or whatever you're doing, and it grows into, shooting the biggest deer you can or whatever. That's kind of neat that it worked out the same way for you guys waterfowl wise.
And it's super cool because I'm sure back whenever you guys got into it, you probably didn't realize the people or the friends that it would bring along the way. I mean, for us anyway. I mean, you guys have been great friends, and we've only known you all a year, and you guys have been grateful enough to let us come up here and hunt, and we always have a heck of a time.
Yeah, of course.
So Drake, what's your story? How'd you get into it?
Well, it's not nearly as wholesome as Steve's with his whole family and everything, but my name's Drake, so there's some waterfowl or hinting in my name. My dad was a big duck hunter before I was born. He'd been duck hunting since he was a kid and stuff, and been all over the country chasing ducks. And well, when I was born, he just decided he wanted to quit, but named me Drake instead, anyways. I went duck hunting a couple times as a kid with some of his buddies, and I never ended up shooting anything. I remember one time explicitly I had shot a blue-winged teal. I remember this, and we hunted Riverton like 3 times in a row, and we kicked the same crippled blue-winged teal up. And one of the other guys ended up shooting it, but I'd grown up around it and kind of in the culture, and my dad had always given me these like waterfowl identification books. Like I had those instead of like normal kids story books growing up. I had like you get that one little flip over book that's got all the waterfowl identification. You got your bills and your flying pictures. That was my kids books growing up. But when I was 16 and got my own truck, one of my boss at the time actually gave me a dozen of the old water keel flambeaus, and me and my best friend Caleb went out and tried duck hunting our first time. I think it took a whole season for us to kill 2 coots, 1 blue-winged teal, and a goose.
Did you pass shoot the goose?
Well, I like to think that I called it in, but it was definitely just flying a straight line no matter what noises I was thinking I was making.
He was sky blasting coots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took my 10 gauge out for the first time back when I was like one of my very first times ever duck hunting, and this 10 gauge is like 14 pounds. It's an old BPS, and we ended up like strategically stalking this big old flock of coots, and I had got one miraculously out of this shot, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I had sent pictures to all my friends and people that I knew that duck hunted, and I was like, look at what I shot. They're like, you're stupid.
Yeah. That's something we might have to get into. You guys do something you call the coot shoot. How many?
Which podcast did we talk about that?
Episode 4.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
either 4. What I don't even remember. What is this? Episode 7, I think. No, 8.
7 or 8.
7 or 8, something like that. I already lost count. But you guys do something every year, and we didn't make it up this year to do it. Called the coot shoot. How many freaking coots did you shoot this year up at wherever you shot them at? We won't give out the exact location, but didn't you guys shoot like a 7 or 8 man of coots?
Yeah, on that Saturday we shot a full 8-man, 120 coots.
That's insane.
It was awesome.
Oh, it's good.
I
Hold
can't
on.
believe you're an amateur out here with your phone ringer on.
I'm on call. got to keep that thing on me.
But yeah, so that's, I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy whenever me and Landon first got into it, and I think we've told it a couple times, but it's you talk about having that like identification books and stuff. We didn't know what the hell the first time me and Landon went and drew in.
No, we always grew up deer and turkey hunting and never. I mean, back home we don't really have the birds that you guys.
Yeah,
You
up
guys
here it seems like.
Ever probably grew up.
I mean,
around.
there's like 2 or 3 areas you can draw in at home, and
Yeah,
otherwise,
and
if you're
so-
not a multimillionaire, you're not hunting anything good.
No, and we didn't have the friends that to do it. I mean, we just didn't, and the waterfowlers around home were basically had their own groups, and which was fine. They're their own friends, and that's just who they hunted with, and we never really had the opportunity, and so my uncle kind of pretty big waterfowler actually, and he invited us up, and our very first like waterfowling experience ever was the snow goose hunting. We killed 56 or something.
Yeah, 50 or 60 birds
Over a perm spread, and then it was just like I was pretty hooked
Yeah.
from there.
That that's why even most of the time if we talk about waterfowl hunting, like the biggest thing we can relate to is snow goose hunting because that's just what we've done the most. Like whether it's up here with you guys or back home with them.
And a lot of that has to do with it's after deer season, and
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
winds
springtime.
down
We're
and-
kind of winding down, just
but
doing
that was
some
our
farm work
first
and stuff.
real waterfowl experience, and then we kind of slowly kind of got into it from there. And the older we got, me and Brady had bought some of our own decoys, and yeah, I mean our biggest struggle overall was calling, and I still can't.
Oh yeah, I mean we went to whatever Otter Slough, or not Otter Slough.
No, that's downside.
Yeah.
We drew into Fountain Grove.
Yeah, Fountain Grove.
And-
Well, we were hunting, and it was whatever a couple hours from the farm, and we said, well, if we get up, we can, and we don't draw in, we'll make it back to hunt the farm in the morning. Well, we end up
Yeah.
drawing in. We knew like limits and stuff, but we didn't know like the extent of, whenever duck was flying through there, I couldn't tell you if it was a fucking blue-winged teal or a mallard. I had no
Yeah,
idea.
we didn't really have a clue, and we got lost going to the spot that we were supposed to be hunting in the first place. Walked
Yeah.
up on some deer hunters, and then when we did get into
where we were
the
supposed
pit
to
that
be.
we were supposed to be sitting, we had our backpack in this basically tote that we were dragging our decoys in, and all our shells were just soaking wet. Like we had
That was
no clue.
terrible.
It was terrible. So we ended up throwing some shells at. We weren't sure if we could shoot them. The shells that we did shoot were who knows what. And then on the second shot of
They were steel. They were steel. I know
were steel
that.
no, I'm not saying who knows what. I mean half of them were wet. And
Yeah.
they were just all, muddy, and
I banana barreled my gun.
Brady banana barrels his gun on
Yeah,
the
first
second.
time, brand new Beretta, first time ever.
Steve Drake and I know all about wet shells.
Yeah, I think that's a story for a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was just
But no, so that's kind of just like, even now, I can see it a little more. And duck hunting wise, I haven't duck hunted even as much as Landon has here and there. But I still have trouble. Like, we'll be driving and you guys will be like, oh, look at that flying right there. That's a whatever. And I look at them like, dude, I have no fucking clue what. It's hard for me to pick out details of what's what.
Unless they're right on top of us, I don't.
Yeah.
I tend to not know
That's why I don't duck hunt a whole lot.
duck wise.
I think one of the biggest things is when I've introduced people or try to get new people to come with me, they don't realize how many different kinds of ducks there are. That's one of the biggest
parts
things.
of duck hunting.
Yeah, is everybody's like, oh, where's the park ducks at? And you're like, well, we won't see those for another month or two. You're like, we're shooting teal.
Yeah. How many different species of ducks are there?
Oh, I honestly couldn't answer that question.
Yeah.
I mean, well, if you got the, they got the classic North American 41, but across the world, I think there's upwards
yeah,
of-
a
upwards
lot.
of 100.
How many have you killed here in Iowa?
I've killed everything in our flyway except for a redhead, a ruddy duck, and a widgeon.
Wow. How about you, Steve?
About the only thing that we even somewhat commonly see, which is a black. I think the only thing I really haven't shot the flyway is a black duck. About got everything else checked off, and a couple. I got a sea duck.
old squaw.
Yeah, an old
Yeah, two of
spot in
those.
Iowa. And
Shout out to my gun.
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say got that sucker. Or that was the old Mossberg got
Yeah.
it done.
Brought
That's
my-
the second one I shot. I got one back in 2016 too.
Landon
Really?
was here
Both.
in spirit.
both hens or
This one was an Emmy Drake, I think. That
Was
first
it?
one was a hen.
yeah? Hell yeah, that's cool.
I didn't look at the one you shot recently. I couldn't tell if it was an Emmy hen or a.
What about any like what's the
And-
coolest? Would you say the coolest duck you've killed is like any hybrids or like just anything off the wall that's cool that you're getting mounted or anything?
My coolest personal that I've shot would be a banded mallard.
Banded mallard.
I've seen a brewer's duck hybrid in person. That was about the coolest duck I've seen.
Wow.
Someone shoot it whenever you were with them or
No, we were in a city park, and I was back before I even knew hybrids were like a great possibility. I was taking a picture of it. I'm like, this is the prettiest gadwall I've ever seen. And then I look back on it. I'm like, you're an idiot. That's a brewer's duck.
Oh, well, I still couldn't tell you what that is. So
That's a gadwall mallard hybrid.
really,
What's it called?
A brewer's duck.
I'll be damn. That's cool.
I'll have to look it up.
I've seen some sick hybrids on social media anyways. You just see some stud ones that are killed every year that
It looks like mallards and pintails are pretty. Are they like one of the more common?
Well, I mean, they hang out so closely
Yeah.
together.
Okay.
I do see that quite a bit.
And then you sent the one hybrid, the green wing.
the Aleutian green wing with the American green wing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool little
Yeah, that
hybrid.
was pretty cool.
That's gotta be one of the hardest hybrids to identify, I bet you. Just knowing the Aleutian
I
teal
mean,
versus the green wing teal.
I wouldn't have known what to look at unless you would like what you.
yeah,
pointed
until
it
you
out,
actually
so-
said that, I didn't even know what the hell I was looking at. I just thought it was a duck.
I mean, all it was like two little lines that made it a different species. So,
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
well, Steve, what's your coolest duck? You didn't answer that part of the question.
I was trying to think. Shot a pretty steadily shoveler one time. Shot 2 old squaw.
Yeah, that's
Still
That's
waiting on the
probably
Drake.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on a stud Drake.
Yeah, good luck in Iowa. That's
I got a lot of people fired up about that old squaw. Apparently, there's quite a few of them that
I
get
was-
shot in Iowa each year.
really.
Yeah, we had a buddy, one of mine. I was in northern Minnesota hunting geese, and it was one of my best friends that shot a surf scoter, or sorry, a juvie white wing, when I was gone. They're like, "What is this?" They got real scared because they thought it was a ruddy duck when it came in, and they're not ruddy ducks. But I mean, nobody in Iowa is gonna know what a sea duck looks like, especially scoters. You know, you don't know what a white wing looks like compared to a surf or something.
I don't know what most of our ducks look like in general yet.
Yeah,
I mean, I know the mallards, pintails, gadwall, your teal, spoonies, but as far as some of the birds you guys were killing this year and sending in the group, there were some pretty birds, but I learned a few this year that you guys had killed, and you guys put a number on the divers this year, not?
We did pretty good on divers this year. Goldeneye and Mergs and
Some buffalo.
Buffalo
heads.
heads.
lizards.
Well, you guys didn't, but I got after the buffalo. That's
you
pretty
put
good.
I'm surprised we didn't get a hooded merganser.
We got a couple hoods.
Did we?
We killed.
Hens?
I killed some.
Hens? Did we get any drakes?
Oh, I shot a couple hens. And
We shot an
one miniature
absolute
drake.
stud in New York.
Really?
Yeah, and then James shot that really cool Amy Drake.
Yeah.
Hooded merganser.
yeah. So tell us, you guys have hunted pretty well. I mean, most of the Midwest it seems like, but where all have you been, like so far, and kind of what's your favorite place you've been to hunt?
Waterfowl hunting. I've hunted New York, Minnesota, Missouri, Iowa, South Dakota, North Dakota. I would say, in terms of experience, South Dakota with the snow geese and New York were probably two of my favorite locations.
Yeah, the New York hunt looks sick.
New York was really cool.
Yeah.
That was a really good time. I went out there for black ducks, and the only opportunity I had at a black duck, the guy who invited me out there was actually picking up 2 hooded mergansers that my buddy had water swatted. We had a single black duck come in, and it flared because he was out in the middle of the decoys.
Oh my.
Dang it.
Hoodeds were worth it.
The hoodeds were absolutely perfect. They were pretty.
That's cool. What about you, Steve?
So far, waterfowl's taken me to Arkansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and South Dakota so far. But I plan on venturing a lot further. But my favorite place is Iowa. I know
Yeah.
it's weird because we're known for our deer. There's something about that makes me not almost want to travel.
Yeah,
The fact that I'm shooting ducks in Iowa and kind of being, I don't want to say like different. I don't think Iowa gets enough credit for how good our waterfowling is, just because we're pegged as deer, and that's what everybody thinks of us as.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest thing. Luckily, there's probably only going to be about 20 people that listen to this, so we're not going to blow it up completely. But yeah, I think it's cool. Whenever Alan was first telling us about whatever goose hunting up here and different stuff, he was like, "Oh yeah, whatever, all the birds," and I was like, "Iowa." Like every time I hear about Iowa, you're going to shoot a 180-inch deer or something. But like after we came up here, I was like, "Yeah, it's slept on as far as
Like you all saw what
yeah."
we saw this afternoon.
Yeah, like we're shooting honkers at home. We're just shooting whatever local birds. Like you guys seem to, get a little more flight action up here. It seems like they kind of stop right on that, I don't know, call it the north third of Missouri up to the Iowa line and
Moberly, I'd say.
Yeah,
where
back-
the cutoff is.
back up.
Ish.
But
You guys make it look easy at time, or to me anyway. But whenever I'm actually up here, don't realize like the amount of work that goes in to the hunts that you guys have. I mean, the success that you guys do isn't just necessarily because of the area. It has something to do with the area here, but you guys also
a lot of windshield time and a lot of
put a
fucking gas,
crazy amount
gas
of
burn.
work into it.
Especially Alan this week trying to get us lined up on some
We've all
geese.
been running around like chickens with our head cut off this week.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say Steve's got his whole posse of like 15 people he's got scouting for him.
Yeah. So if you had to pick one thing that you could only hunt the rest of your life as far as waterfowl goes, goose, snow goose, ducks, what would it be?
Green wing teal.
You're going
Well,
specific species. He's just
Oh.
asking
Coots
Oh, you
only.
talking-
only
I-
ducks. That's, I mean,
Only
you
ducks.
see the plate on my truck. It's
Yeah.
gotta be ducks.
Really,
I
what
thought you were talking specific duck species, but ducks in general.
what's the reasoning behind the green wing for you?
They're easy.
That aspect. They do decoy really nice, but I think they're the best tasting waterfowl. Be it you don't get an incredible amount of meat from them, but the little chunks you do, they're about as close as you can get to a little chunk of filet mignon as you can get.
And they're
Plus,
very, very pretty birds.
they're very, very pretty. I don't think they get enough credit for how pretty they are.
The teal we had up here that we killed this year, actually, me, you, oh yeah,
Was
you
that
were
a-
Yeah, you
the-
guys killed a couple.
we killed a 4-man.
Yeah.
Um,
Of blue
Mostly
wings?
blue wings.
Yeah.
There might have
Mostly
been a green-
blues. We had some green wings in there though.
I
was
can-
gonna
Maybe
say-
we did have a handful.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I thought we had more. Or
I think we had a handful.
think-
Maybe it was split 50-50-ish.
I thought we.
Yeah, I think they were either Emmy drakes or hens, so they'd look pretty similar to a blue wing unless you really pick them up and look them over.
Either way,
You know,
they
just look at the
they
bird
ate,
to tell they're different.
But yeah, well,
they ate very good.
Yeah. They
They were very good.
yeah, it was worth the
Yeah, because that was when you were living down in Missouri still.
yeah. And we were
Oh
me and
yeah.
Adam were
You guys didn't leave till like 10 o'clock at night
Oh
from
my-
Adams, remember?
We pulled a few all nighters this year.
I death marched you guys with the canoes across.
yeah,
that,
me and Adam
that-
were grinding it out.
Oh, dude.
I was almost glad I missed that one because the walk-in sounded that bad.
It was not fun.
Yeah, I don't even remember why I didn't come.
Yeah, no, we didn't float at all.
No,
There
there was
wasn't
no
enough
floating.
water.
I think the water was maybe I'd say 4 inches.
Yeah, there was
But the
4
mud
inches
was
of
up to
water.
my waist,
I didn't realize. I mean,
mid thigh.
when I was looking at the body of water, I thought it was like a lake. It looked like it was going to be pretty deep, and I was just under the impression like, oh, this place is pretty deep. We're getting in these canoes, and we like walk them out and start walking. And next thing you know, we're a quarter away across the lake, and the canoe's not floating yet. And get in it, start kind of paddling, and Steve ended up walking completely across the whole thing. And
That was rough.
You
yeah, it
think
was-
Steve would have learned his lesson, and then we took a boat out there a couple weeks later and got the boat stuck out in the middle of that mud
Oh, that was a
flat.
different spot.
Oh, was it? I
Yeah.
thought we were pretty close.
Let's talk about when you sank the boat last year.
No.
Yeah,
That's a
Alan, wasn't that one of your first experiences?
That was
It was like
I'd say that was my
that was like
yeah.
One of your first?
Yeah.
Was it last year or 2 years ago?
This was
2 years
a
ago.
year.
it was
A year.
2022,
So the
2023.
beginning of this year, it'd have been a year. So whenever we went to Rice Lake, it'd have been a year before that. And I told myself I'd never duck hunt again.
And you were out what?
It was
a
early.
week later.
What are you doing?
We got
Uh,
a dog chasing.
yeah,
the
we
cat.
got dogs
cat
running cat.
over the jump.
That's a big cat. Was it? It was early season, wasn't it? Yeah,
Goodness.
water was still warm.
Yeah.
It was
It was
ice cold.
It wasn't that bad. I spent a lot of time in that water.
Well, you acclimated to it very well. You were in there for probably 3 hours.
It's a good learning lesson at the very least. Don't overload boats and don't get in a hurry.
So is that what happened? You guys overloaded the boat and it just took too much water?
Sleep.
Yeah, sleep
sure you
deprivation mixed with a lot of gear mixed with
A lot of people that didn't have high school diplomas.
Should we just tell the story too?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear
yeah. I
it.
was gonna say I want to hear it.
I've heard different bits
I'll
and
leave
pieces
it
about
for
it, but
Steve because I was actually over on the island waiting
I
for
was,
the boat.
I was gonna
to
say Steve
return.
was actually the only one on the
Drake was
boat.
getting pizza for us.
Drake was being
do
a
believe.
gene.
what pizza place was open at midnight?
Casey's Pizza.
Oh,
Yeah,
shout out
Casey's. The Midwest breakfast.
the best hunting.
I mean, we should have known it was
Place
going to be
to
a
stop.
shit show when Drake got pulled over twice on the way there.
You got pulled over twice on
Yeah,
the way
should,
there.
should I start the story?
Yeah,
with,
I want to hear it.
All right, we'll start with me leaving. So, I got a real bad problem with driving real fast. Well, I had ended up about 45 minutes north of home, and I was riding the fast lane, and I was going, oh man, I was probably going 86. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I had cruise set at like 86, and the buddy I had in my passenger seat's a real passenger seat, like real backseat driver, and he's hounding me the entire time. He's like, man, you got to slow down. You're going to get pulled over. And I'm like, man, nah. It's like, it was probably 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, we're not going to worry about any cops. I'm like, we're north of Ames. We're fine. We weren't that fine. State trooper pulls out. He pulls me over. He goes, you know how fast you were going? I go, not really, man. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm trying to go duck hunting. And he's like, you were going 86 in a 65. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of bad. And he ended up giving me a ticket. And so I was like, whatever, I was already kind of mad about it. Got my ticket, didn't learn my lesson, kept on speeding, headed up north, and we were in the town. I was just outside the town we were hunting in, and I drove through this little town and past a bar, and it was about it was probably 11:50 at this point. It was getting pretty close, time to launch the boats and stuff, and I had come out of this town and I was going probably 50 in an very unmarked 35. And a state patrolman, another state patrolman came. He was coming at me, and he flashed his lights before he even got to me. And so I pulled over, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna need you to come get in my vehicle with me."
Oh.
And I knew he thought I was drinking, so I got in the car with him and everything, and we sat and had a nice little talk. And he's like, "I'm not gonna lie, man. I thought you were drinking there. You just left past that bar down there." So I ended up having to take a wrong turn, and I turned around in a bar parking lot. And I think he saw me.
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Well, I just saw you leave that bar down there, and you were going 15 over, and I just wanted to make sure everything was all right." And he was all concerned for me, and I ended up getting a warning from him, but I got a speeding ticket, and then I rolled up into the parking lot, not a real good mood, and definitely was like, if I get pulled over one more time.
So the trip started off good.
Yeah, this trip started off, we got a $118 ticket and a warning, and I showed up 5 minutes before we were supposed to launch the boat, so it was a good time.
Hell yeah. That's perfect timing to me.
Honestly, yeah.
And this is the same day the boat sank, right?
Yeah, technically the day before, but yeah, same hunt.
Oh my.
Yeah, and then I think the next part of the story probably go to Steve over there. That's his story.
I was gonna say there's some looking back, there's definitely some things we could have done to prevent everything from happening, but
No butt sack in the front of the boat.
Next time we will do those things.
oh yeah, if anything, it has instilled the fear of God of overloading a boat and getting too hasty, which is I was feeling immortal back then, so I needed to drop down a couple pegs.
You just full center.
We did. We
You just center a little too hard though.
well, we also had bad planning and only had the one boat. So what? Okay, so how many people do we have first? I think we had 6 guys and all the gear
Yeah.
at the ramp.
Yes.
So we launched and went over to the spot, and I kicked out three of you guys. And instead of kicking out, I kicked out a decoy bag.
You kicked out 2 decoy bags.
The crappiest decoy bags ever. Like ones
They were the giant Dakotas.
yeah, the Dakota floaters with the freaking 8 ounce weights on them, and the crappiest bags imaginable.
Straps barely hanging
Oh,
on.
my
They're
gosh.
designated as boat bags. Like do not
Well,
carry,
They
leave in the boat. Threw those out, and then we slept for like 4 hours.
Yeah, and we woke up with frost on the boat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, we
It was
had
freezing cold.
we had a big old pile of all of us in the boat. Like we were sleeping on top of each other. Me and Al cuddled for probably the whole 4 hours.
Oh,
You never told me about that, Alan.
He likes to leave that part out.
damn.
Yeah,
Got to stay warm somehow.
I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, that was the probably mistake number one, was just kicking you guys out in those bag of decoys and no guns, shells, nothing, and then proceeding to run back and getting the next.
And then
volley.
load more shit.
Yeah, running back and getting the next volley of boys and all their gear.
I think you had. How many people did you have in that boat on the way back when you grabbed them?
I think I had. My boat's rated at 6 people, and I think we had 6 people and a dog. But we had the amount of gear we had was. That was. Yeah, that's what I did not take into consideration.
Yeah,
Because
you had-
it's a weight limit thing, not like a.
You had like 10 people worth of gear, all the decoys, 6 people, and a dog blind.
Yeah.
How far from the ramp to where you were hunting was it?
Oh, maybe.
It was just
good,
across the lake.
Yeah, maybe half a mile boat
maybe.
ride. Maybe a little less.
Maybe 600 yards.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah.
And how far did you make it before it
Well,
went down?
Was it like 100?
Oh, we did not
120?
make it far.
Maybe 80 yards. That's what it
I
was.
say I
Yeah.
think it
That's
was
what
like
it was, 80
82 on a
yards.
rangefinder.
It
or
was
something.
was it 3 ratchet straps fully stretched out?
No, it was 3 ratchet straps plus the rope that the DNR officer had given
Oh,
us.
yeah.
That's what it was. Okay.
Shout out to Iowa DNR.
We loaded that sucker down with the new bunch of guys and their gear, and somebody jumped on the bow of the boat,
Butt
and I was
sack.
just, I was like, we got to get going. It's getting to be about crunch time, and if I was in my right frame of mind, I would have said, hey, everybody get to the back so we can disperse some of this weight, but I'm like, we got to go. So we launched off, started going, and someone tried talking to me, and I had my old 27 horse surface drive or pro drive on that thing, and I went to there. It's louder than a son of a gun, and someone was trying to talk to me in the front of the boat, so I cut the throttle quick, and we kind of did the
Shift.
like my wave or my
The
wake
wake.
that I had made came and kind of tipped us our back end down and our front end up, and then our front end went down, and when it did that, the corner went bloop, and next thing I know, we're still like, I didn't completely cut it, I just throttled down, and I hear people yelling that there's water, and I'm like half asleep.
No shit, we're on a lake.
Well, I was like, what is? I was like, what?
Cow
What's
farm.
going on? And then I
Cows
see,
outside.
I see tailing and like swan dive off the front. I see another buddy and his dog kind of just like he grabbed his dog and they tucked off the side. And I was like, what? I still am in disbelief of what's
It's an
even
iceberg.
happening.
Watch out.
And what's odd is
Miniature
like we should
Titanic.
have been able to see this happen from the other side, but we didn't.
And we made it like, we weren't very far.
Couldn't you all see the lights like just kind of go underwater?
I
like
think-
you get the classic Titanic
I
scene of
think
just the
that's
lights
actually-
going under the water.
Yes. And I could see everybody like dumping their boat in and driving by the flipped boat.
Yeah, it
They
felt
literally
like,
drove by you.
You can see them drive off and go to their spot. Even after Talon had texted us in the group chat and said, no shit, the boat's flipped.
So the best part of this is Steve had my phone and I had Steve's phone.
yeah, because
during this ordeal.
bought the pizza and I had the
Hey,
the
your phone was
receipt on my
dead,
phone.
so it was charging in my
Oh,
truck.
That's right.
Damn you, pizza.
We gotta go back to where we gotta go back to where I'm just sitting there watching people jump off the boat. It felt like 30 seconds or a minute that it happened, but it probably happened in like 6 seconds. People are just jumping off, and next thing no one's in the boat, and I'm like, my left arm's cold, and the water's like to my shoulder. I'm like, what? And then I still had my hand on the throttle. I couldn't even tell what was happening. The boat was like starting to tip and sink before I even realized what was happening, and the motor was still running, and it just went bloop, flipped upside down. And I kind of had to swan dive underneath, filled my waders, and the best part is I thought it was 60 foot deep out there. I thought it was so deep, and everybody had life jackets on, but I grabbed onto a decoy bag, and I felt some stuff hit my legs while we flipped, and I just pinched them together, and that I ended up pinching 4 guns in between my legs, and I thought we
dang.
lost everything.
That was
I thought it was
clutch.
so deep.
One of them was mine.
Yeah,
I
I'd
was gonna
say thank you for grabbing mine. Like a true captain though, going down with the boat,
I did.
hand on the
Yeah,
throttle,
no,
gunning
yeah.
it all the way down.
I wish I had the Titanic's violin.
Oh, dude.
It's like-
No, but the saving grace was there was actually like an air bubble that got like it fell to where there was an air bubble that kept the boat above, so we were able to.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
back
Sink
corner of the
completely.
boat.
So
stayed
what-
afloat so we could
like
see
5
it
foot
still.
out there.
What all was lost? Like what all was counted as?
We
not-
only lost a gun.
We lost a Stoker M3000.
So like we really didn't lose anything.
yeah.
We were close enough to the ramp to where we just stripped down to our underwear, wore life jackets, and walked out there and just dredged the bottom with our feet to feel
So how deep was the water ended up being?
about 5 foot.
5 foot.
It was.
That's pretty rough still.
It was to my chin. I'm real short, so that was bad.
Your thumbs touched a battery.
Yeah, no, I definitely got zapped by a battery at one point. I stepped on positive and negative on a battery and like got a little bit of a shock.
I had that dry line dive bomb bag, and my phone and wallet were at the bottom of that lake for 6 hours.
They did not come back out dry.
They didn't, but they were operational.
So if you guys were trying to go 600 to 800 yards for these guys you had already dropped off, but only made it 100 yards, how did the guys that were 700 yards out there?
Well, the reason for the boat is because that spot we were going was a death march to get to. So the guys that were left there with the bags that
Had
were,
to make that.
I
death
think
march.
that's Al's part of the story
yeah,
there.
that's Al's part.
So me, John, and Caleb, the three Stooges.
Shout out to my backseat driver.
No. So we start kind of. I guess it started getting light out. People started shooting ducks, and we were like, "Well, we're gonna have to get back one way or another."
How did you find out that they
The
like?
Snapchat group.
Talon Snapchat to the group. All he said, and he never touched back on this. Out of the blue, he goes, "We sunk the boat," and then never went back into the chat. So he had from his phone said, "We sunk the boat,"
I think,
and then that was it.
I think us three over there were in the dark for 2 hours. I think. Like, I'm not shitting you. Like, we were, like, John was freaking out. I was freaking out a little bit, too, because nobody knew if their guns were on the bottom. Nobody knew what all was going on, because, like, we hadn't heard from anybody. You were gone getting pizza.
And I had Steve's phone, too, so that didn't make it any better, because
Yeah.
Steve couldn't talk to any, or
Yeah,
Steve
there was
wasn't
no
talking to
communication between all 3 points.
yeah, because
We need to bring a flare gun next time.
No,
There won't be a next time.
there will not be next time.
there was 100% of next time, and that's how we met Ricky the raccoon.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but
there.
there wasn't. We didn't. Yeah. But no, we got to carry. Shit, dude. I don't even know how much weight those bags were.
They were not light.
They were not.
Those are
And
about the heaviest decoys I own besides the battleship Goldeneye.
Those are terrible.
I think we walked. I don't know, somewhere between a quarter mile and half mile through water that was probably 1.5 inches deep and mud that was up to your nuts. With heavy bags, disgusting smelly mud. People are shooting ducks. Like a blue-winged teal about smacked John in the head
Yeah.
on our way out. And anyway, we get past the first half of the trip and we get up to these train tracks, and it was a pain in the ass because the gravel on the side of the train tracks is super loose. And there's so much weight you're getting up there. But anyway, we finally got up there, and it was like, what, half a mile? Another half mile of just
I think
walking
it's just
down
a little
train
bit
tracks.
over a half mile from the train tracks to the road.
Yeah. And, you know, the train tracks on this lake, you can literally overlook the whole lake, and you could see ducks working, every hunter out there. You could see everybody else having fun, but we are not. So it was a really cool experience. But we did finally end up making it back to the rendezvous. We met with another guy that is a really cool dude. Really love him.
So where did the
we-
DNR officer come into play?
He just showed up.
I introduced myself to him in my underwear.
Yeah, we were all in our underwear there.
Yeah, I want to know what went through his head. When he
I
pulled up.
think Al and Caleb had just jumped in the water because they had been back.
You can't swim here.
Yeah, they had just got back at this point, and they were like, well, nobody's doing anything, so they hopped in the water, and I was stripping down. And as I'm getting ready to swan dive off the dock, the DNR rolls up, and we're like, well, this is a great time to meet him. I'm in my underwear.
You shook his hand,
Oh, yeah,
made eye contact.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
did we end up getting a ticket for that?
No.
How
That's
could
the-
you, dude? We'd already been through the shit.
Yeah,
like
I
if
think
he'd have
he's-
given us a ticket, I would have been so depressed.
You literally wouldn't have waterfowl hunted ever again.
No, I'm never leaving dry land again. I'm like all crappie fish from the bank. I
We
don't give a shit.
spent the next 4 hours. It was me, Al, Caleb, Steve, and Buttsack. catching everything off of the bottom. And the only thing we left a shotgun and a blind bag, but the blind bag was later snagged by somebody who went back up looking for their gun.
Yeah.
So
But the gun was never recovered.
Gun was never recovered.
It was supposed. I think it was a floating case that had a malfunction to where it like was a suspended floating case.
Yeah, so it never hit the bottom and never went up to the top. So
So
it
it
was
kinda
it just hit the water current and just disappeared.
Someone got a free gun,
I
probably.
mean, luckily, it wasn't like a A400 or a Super Black Eagle.
There's a catfish down there just blasting crappie.
It's like it's so much easier now.
Gangster.
Just swimming around.
Uh,
Yeah,
No,
that's
that was that trip.
But you ended up yanking the boat out with some.
Yeah, the
Ratchet
DNR
straps?
officer was kind enough to give us an old life raft rope or something that he had, and it was out of service, so he gave it to us, and then all of the ratchet straps that we can combine between our 3 trucks, which was like 3 ratchet straps.
I had so many ratchet straps.
I know, but we only had 3 that were like not falling apart.
Oh yeah,
We broke. I couldn't tell you how many we broke trying to tow that boat out.
Well, they came apart the one time, so I had to kind of try to connect on my way out, and
Yeah.
then this other boat comes speeding over because their boat is
Yeah, they had a
like,
hole in their
sinking.
boat. Yeah.
No, they didn't put the plug in. Remember?
Oh yeah,
They didn't put the plug in, so they were hauling ass over
So
there.
they
And I
were
thought they were
sinking
gonna
their boat,
smoke
too.
my ass.
Yeah, and they were screaming at us to get out of the way, and they were screaming at us. They're like, "Get out of the way! Get out of the way!" And they end up beaching their boat. And there's like maybe
fuck you, bud.
there's like maybe a cup full of water in their boat, and they're freaking out. And they're like, "Well, I don't know if you guys lost this or not." And they pull a random duck call out of the bottom of their boat and they just hand it to one of us, and like, we got a free duck call out of the ordeal.
Oh, they end up being cool. You know the worst thing ever? Have you ever been fishing or driving on a boat and you're like driving and you're passing someone coming this way and you wave at them and they don't wave back?
Hate those people.
Fuck them people, dude. That's the worst. They deserve to get hit by
So
lightning.
yeah, and no one even bothered to help you guys
Yeah,
with your boat.
No, there was.
they were worried about
yeah,
ducks.
people were putting in and taking off while we were.
They were making fun of us. They're like, "Who's the fat kid in their underwear?" Like,
You should have said, "I'm a minor. Don't look. I'll have you arrested."
In their defense, it was opening day, and it
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I mean
not
that
much
lake
they
was
could
that
do.
lake was popping. Like,
Yeah, there was. We would have smoked them.
So the real question is, obviously, you guys didn't kill any birds that day, and is the boat still in? Do we use it to this day?
Yeah, it's
Is
operational.
it the 16
motor,
footer?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
motor got cleaned up. and
the
works
motor's
too.
on my pontoon.
16 footers. That
James.
well, just needs a. I've got plans to make it a bow fishing boat, but it got used a couple times this year actually with that 25 horse,
Yeah.
that Merc on it.
That's just a interesting place up there. I know you guys were grateful enough. You guys invited us up for it, and first duck hunt of the year. And by the time we left town and made it up to you all, you guys.
I think there was more. Was there more people on this hunt, or was there just as many?
Just as many.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Like
we,
10 or 11 guys, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
we stranded John,
The same
Al,
3.
and Caleb on
The same
another
3.
another island on this
Island,
lake
yeah.
for multiple hours away, again this time.
Yeah, well, they got to chill with the raccoon.
Yeah,
so
I befriended a raccoon.
I'm gonna.
These cats are really
That
getting after
cat
it over
can't.
there.
That cat can't jump anywhere.
Yeah, but we befriended a raccoon, and we made best friends with him.
I just remember we were on our way up and we had a long drive, and we probably hadn't even really made it out of town, and you were already out.
Yeah, me and
For
Steve
the
fell
night?
asleep. What?
You were already out on. They'd already boated you
Oh
out,
yeah, yeah,
dropped
yeah.
you off,
Okay, yeah.
and me and Adam are coming up and basically on zero sleep. And I get a phone call and we're like a few hours out, and you guys had like a raccoon coming and hanging out with you guys at the ramp.
Yeah.
And he ended up leaving, but by the time me and Adam got up there, he come back, and at first we were kind of like, what are they talking about? And yeah, sure enough, the raccoon came up, and he ended up eating like a whole bag of chips, some almonds.
Yeah, he ate like an entire bag of popcorners that I had in the back of my truck. He ate most of Adam's almonds that he had, and we were hand feeding him almonds. It's not like we were just throwing out, like he was eating them out of our hand. And then he ended up drinking.
Who put him on the tailgate?
He got
He-
up
he
there
got
and
up there
started-
himself.
We never touched him
How?
at all.
we pet him so much.
Yeah, no, when he first came
How did
over,
he get on the tailgate?
He jumped up there.
Yeah, he
did?
jumped
He
on.
wasn't
the-
that
Okay.
fat.
He
I mean, he
first-
was big, but
I mean, I wouldn't know because I wasn't able to see him.
you weren't cool enough to be on the boat ramp.
he got up on the boat trailer at first, and the tailgate was down.
Oh, okay.
So he was like reaching up, but he didn't jump up from that. He got down, and then he climbed up on like the side somehow.
Yeah, he like got on my side step and got up through
Yeah,
there.
the side step and got up, and then he just sat on the side and just like chilled with all of us. And he was walking around in the back of the truck, and
He hung out for probably 3 hours total.
Yeah,
he was
no,
there
he
for
did.
quite a while.
yep. I was trying to bring him hunting. I was like, how cool it'd be if he could just retrieve a duck for us.
He probably would have, honestly.
Y'all
Might not
made,
have
it
got
on,
back.
y'all made it on the Iowa Chill.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I seen you guys did send that.
Yeah, that was Landon's
Did we even
video.
send it, or did they just see it?
No, Landon sent the video
we
to
did?
Iowa Chill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We had a few beers before we went out, and we ended up giving the raccoon a twisted tea, and he liked it.
I think
slurped
he
it down.
did. I don't think we gave it to him. He grabbed it out of the cooler
Yeah,
himself.
he did.
He cracked that thing and
himself.
shotgunned it.
Started slamming
It's
it.
like, watch this, bitches.
He stumbled back into the woods.
It almost had to be like someone's pet, but there were some campsites and stuff around. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there was a
He's
house
eating-
about a mile away.
Yeah, he's probably eating well before because he obviously knew what he was doing.
Yeah, when we had got there, he like me, John, and Caleb were all standing kind of at the edge of the boat ramp, and he'd come out real hot and fast at us, and we were kind of intimidated, and he ended up getting a boot to the face because wild raccoon charging you at 11 o'clock at night is gonna scare you.
Oh yeah.
He was
Boot
just
them
trying to run up and give
Mars.
you a hug, man.
Well, I didn't really know that, and then
He looked like that raccoon off of Elf. Like, okay, he tries to pick it up.
they came back out about an hour later, and I dumped a bag of chips on the ground, and we were besties ever since.
Do you guys have any trips planned for the rest of the year anywhere?
I might go down to Louisiana yet later in January, but that's still up in the air.
Yeah.
We'll be doing some snow goose trips.
I was gonna say we'll probably go to North South Dakota for snow geese and Missouri for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Come on down.
Yeah, I think we got quite a bit of stuff locked up in Arkansas for snow geese right now too. We just got to kind of coordinate with the guy whenever he gets they start seeing bird numbers. He was supposed to let us know. He's supposed to have a bunch of ground down there that we solely have permission on to snow goose hunt. So
nice.
Can't beat that.
And then I am talking to some locals from Utah, and I want to go out to Utah and try to shoot a pintail or a cinnamon teal next December.
oh dude, cinnamon tail would be sick.
And then Steve and I have talked about going to Alaska.
Yeah, I'd like to do that next year.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I'm going up there next year for caribou on the Adak Islands with some of my buddies from France.
Really?
I'm gonna take them out there and see if we can't get a couple, because that's about the only place you can get them over the counter without doing the draws.
Yeah.
You can buy 2 bull tags, and I think it's about unlimited for does.
That'd be cool. Alaska seems. We got a buddy that I hope we get on here soon. That he spends like 40, 50 days in Alaska when he goes, and
Holy cow.
the pictures that he has and the stuff he shoots up there is insane.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. What, when you guys go up to Alaska, what kind of birds are you chasing? Are they sea ducks, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Alaska's got a whole variety of sea ducks. They got their
Yeah, you're going to be chasing your sea ducks, and then in your Adak Island and your Aleutian Islands and stuff, if you're lucky enough to draw an emperor tag.
There,
Emperor
that's what
geese.
I was thinking of.
That's what the
But
guy
them
from
are like,
Heartland.
them are
Waterfowl
very,
shot.
very rare to.
Yeah, they issue 25 non-resident tags a year. So
Wow.
if you're one of the lucky 25 to go up there and shoot one of those,
Do they release like the average non-residents that apply?
they probably
Numbers?
do, but I haven't looked.
I'd be interested to see how many people apply for that every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, I know a couple people who have got it more than once.
Wow.
But you can apply, so you can put 6 points in every year to do it. And Alaska's not like a lottery, or it's like there's no preference points or anything. So
Yeah,
it's
just
completely
straight
lottery.
Yeah.
I wonder what's it even cost you to apply at
Well,
one point?
so you have to buy your Alaska hunting license, which is like $60, I think, is what mine cost, and then it's $5 a point.
Oh, well,
That's not bad.
No, it's not at all. And then so you got your emperor geese if you draw a tag. You're lucky enough that you get pretty close with like your Asian widgeon and your Asian green wings up
yeah.
there, and then you're chasing your sea ducks. You got your 3 different species of scoters, and then you got your eiders and your longtails, harlequins, and Barrow's goldeneye.
I was gonna say Alaska's gonna be one of the last places you can
Shoot harlequins in the United
harlequins,
States.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why is that?
They just
just
outlawed it in Washington to shoot harlequins.
Mm. they're protecting them,
Mhm.
which is understandable.
Their breeding grounds.
Are the emperor geese? Are they getting? Are they? Well, how is their population? Have you
They're
seen- is
they're
it-
pretty. Their population's pretty low, but they're not like in any concern. They're just
Yeah.
low.
It's just they're
Given the
the
reason why they
range
only
is
give
so-
25 non-resident.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And what is the reason they're so low versus like your Canadians or Snows? It's just how they
Pure breeding grounds. I mean,
Yeah.
they can only breed in such a small area.
really.
Yeah.
They really don't travel too far either.
No, I mean they pretty much stay up there in the tundra their entire life, and like
really?
those islands.
I always thought it'd be cool to go kill a swan out east.
Oh yeah. A buddy out in New York was telling me they have mute swans in Pennsylvania, and they're completely invasive, so you can shoot them
Really?
whenever. They always kill a couple during snow goose season, and then
Unlimited.
unlimited. And then part
Let's
of
plan the trip.
I bet
book
Noah,
it.
I bet Noah would bring us out there if we wanted to go chase some.
Mute swan. What's a mute swan?
They're like
they
the
the
ones you
biggest
see in the
Are they-
city parks with the big old knobs on their foreheads.
Oh yeah.
What's
They're the
the-
solid white ones with like the big orange knobs.
What's the? Am I thinking about the tundra?
Mm-hmm.
Swan, that's the
You're thinking
the
of trumpeter
biggest
swan.
one.
Yeah, you can. So part of the reason for going to Utah is you can shoot swans out there too,
Mhm.
and they're one of the 2 states in the country you can shoot trumpeters in, but
Mhm.
it's pretty frowned upon.
There's a lot of them around here right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of swans around right now.
There's I know
I
two
saw a
different
feed of
feeds
like
with,
90 of them the other day when I was. It was nuts.
Yeah, we get some big feeds of swans around my house.
Do you think the Swans will ever come back enough where they'll open a season in some of your
I
Midwest states?
I honestly think swans are one of those species, kind of like sandhill cranes in Nebraska, where most of the locals just don't want to see them get shot.
Yeah.
They're not going to bring
They're-
a season out for them.
they're I don't know, it's almost not worth the fight because people like looking at them. They're pretty and they're
Right.
kind of like a lot of people frown upon shooting doves because doves are like a sign of peace.
Mm-hmm.
So it would take a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of
I can
petitioning
see
and
that.
legislation to get a season opened on them. And in a
We
lot
have
of cases,
hardly
it's not
any
worth
in
the
the
fight.
fall too.
They just opened up dove hunting in Iowa in 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
No
something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we haven't had dove. We were one of like the last states that I know of to get dove hunting.
Fuck, I
Wow.
didn't know that. That's insane.
I didn't shoot a dove till I got up here because my mom hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, little dove poppers are the best.
I
I don't
just
think-
shoot them from under my grandma's bird feeder all the time
Yeah.
Everybody
with the squirrels.
everybody knows what doves sound like, and they hear them as their kids. And
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say that
Yeah.
sounds kind of iconic as
Yeah.
far as
Yeah,
very
bird
like
accurate.
that's
Good
just
morning,
what you hear in the morning. I
Mhm.
mean, it's about like a chicken
Yeah.
or a rooster.
yeah, so people
I mean-
kind of they don't.
But the dove population is I mean, greatly.
It's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you
It's-
can go
it's
down.
healthy.
You can go down to Argentina and shoot 10,000 of
You're
them.
I mean, you all
You're
were,
shooting
you all
white-winged
were
doves
when you
down
guys
there.
were out
Oh, are
in
they?
Kansas. When you guys were in Kansas, you were.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
there
There's
was,
so
like,
many
thousands.
doves out there with the
Absurd.
Milo in Western Kansas. Yeah, there's
We
so many
were-
doves.
Steve and I were up in North Dakota at one
for
point
early
this year
honkers.
for early honkers, and the amount of doves up there was
It was staggering.
absurd.
So how many species or subspecies of doves are there?
Yeah,
In the
I
United
think there's
States?
just two pretty common ones.
Well, you
though.
got your mourning dove and your turtle dove, and then you get white wings, which we don't really have white wings
Yeah.
here, but we
The
have a
Eurasian
couple.
collared doves.
Yep.
Which in a lot of states are recognized as invasive.
Just
Like
they're
Nebraska,
treated like
they're not.
pigeons in
Yeah, they're
most
pretty much-
states.
Not in Iowa though. They count towards your dove limit here. But
Mhm.
Nebraska, they're pretty much pigeons. No bars, no bar hole. Just there's no limit. You shoot them any time of year you want.
Yeah, pigeons. You can. There's no limit on pigeons.
Continuous
no.
open in the state of Iowa.
Really?
Sick.
That's the big success stories for doves and pigeons. They can nest and breed anywhere.
Yeah.
Like honkers,
Oh yeah.
they'll be.
I couldn't tell you how many honkers nest in Jordan Creek parking lot this year.
Every parking lot,
Oh,
literally every parking lot. Like just there'll be a little.
If there's a pile of mulch somewhere, they're
Yeah.
there.
There's
Really?
a nest.
It's
We-
like that. At
We
the-
see it at the so we see it at the lake a lot. Crappie fishing in the spring, whatever.
trolling around different docks. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Trying to walk out of Shields and a honker will start chasing you because
Yep.
you're too close to its nest.
Nest, yeah. There'll be flower pots, and there's this one specific one every year we go by, and there's always this honker just, it's basically laid down in there, and you can't see it at all, and you start getting close to it.
Yeah,
and
and
you
its
see
head shoots up.
see its
starts
head
hissing.
come up, and it
You need to
starts-
keep a machete and just.
You gotta protect yourself. It's like that one, you get the one video, the honker who or the swan who attacks the guy in his little kayak or whatever.
Yeah.
Fishing.
Yeah, it would only made your guys' trip better when you sank the boat is while you were out there getting it. If there was just honkers just chasing you.
We
That-
saw cranes this year.
Yeah, there was.
That
Oh,
lake's
3
actually protected to
Sand
shoot
Hill Plains.
honkers.
I was gonna say it's
You can't shoot honkers on that lake.
No,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Closed
it's
off.
ridiculous. Yeah, you
There's
saw how many geese
so,
there were.
Oh, yeah, yep.
so many geese there.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's one of the few hunker refuges in Iowa.
Really?
And okay, yeah,
Like
that
on
was-
the upper west end, it's a refuge for everything,
Mhm.
but the whole
The whole lake
thing
is,
is-
and
I-
most of the
most of
fields
the fields
around
are-
it.
I don't want to give the location away, but we've talked about it. I was going to ask you, and why the reasoning is because of that, but I don't want to get into where you guys hunt, so we can.
we hunt
Move on,
Truman
but-
Lake.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a good spot. Brady's talking to a cat.
Fucking big ass cat.
It's a huge cat.
Dude, look at it.
so
That's
majestic.
big country as a cat.
Big country reincarnated as a cat.
I can see the resemblance.
What do you feed that?
He's even got poop on its butt. Probably is big country.
Oh God.
I posted a video the other day of the big country with after that fight, and he had war paint all across his
Yeah,
face.
war
with
paint
cow
as in
shit.
cow shit. Yeah, Steve had that too.
Yeah,
Steve had it in his eye and his mouth. And
You
in his
boys are
nose,
different in Iowa, I'll tell you that.
you got to do something to pass the time. Some
I'm
people
pretty
cook
sure-
breakfast. Some people have cow poop fights.
I don't.
Big Country's probably eaten like, hadn't he eaten possum skunk? Like,
Oh, he's eating about anything.
He
Anything
will
that
eat
walks
everything
on two
he
or four
can.
legs.
It was funny as hell this morning. What did we get up 3:30?
Yeah.
And Big Country was up already feeding cows or goats or something
no,
already
yeah,
at
he-
3:30.
I was feeding horses.
Yeah, he had to get that done so he could come out.
He had to go do his horse chores.
Get the
gotta
horse
love the
done.
kid,
Yeah.
but love them old country folk.
What would you guys say your dream hunt would be? I guess it could be anything as far as big game or waterfowl. What's one thing you really want to check off your bucket list one day?
If you could do anything with
Yeah.
with basically,
No expense.
yeah, no, I mean, without drawing a tag or anything, if someone could say, hey, you could go do this tomorrow, what would you do?
You go ahead, Drake. I'm trying to think.
I'm pretty well tied between two of them, and I think this stems from all the hunting games I used to play as a kid. You know, you get the Cabela's big game hunters and stuff, where you're
Hell
always in
yeah.
Africa.
Yeah.
And I'm a Gimsbach or a kudu is always high
Oh,
on my
dude.
list.
I said the same thing. A lot of people shit on Africa, but honestly, if as far as bow hunting goes, or even rifle hunting, I'd love to go to Africa sometime just to see it. And it's really not that like expensive as what people think it is.
So hunting's an excuse just to go and
Explore.
explore
Yeah.
Africa.
That's okay. And then I'm tied for spur wing goose. They're big, goofy looking geese, and they get these big old gnarly spurs up on their elbow, and they just look cool. I couldn't tell you what.
No, that's just called a turkey, Drake.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are we talking? Wild turkeys?
I thought
Do
you
they
wanna-
gobble?
I thought you might want to go shoot kangaroo jack.
Kangaroo jack.
Yeah. You don't want to shoot a roo?
I mean, I'd shoot a roo.
That seems to be a pretty.
I want to box one like the video. That's
With
exactly
the,
what
with
I
the
should-
dog?
Yeah, he just walks
Yeah.
up and he just cold cocks the one, and kangaroo just kind of looks at him. He's like, "What?"
Oh.
I was gonna say Steve's actually got some out of country hunting experience.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that
He
is
just
right.
went to France last year.
for a month.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, what's your
I'm-
dream hunt, Steve?
I'm thinking it'd be something bird related, or either for a tar back in. I don't think I'd be able to do it in the Alps. I'd probably have to go to. I can't remember. I think I'd have to go to Spain to do that.
For the less educated, what is that?
A big goat.
Big goat.
Mm.
Oh, Big Country's got plenty of those.
He did.
I think we could import it. So what all did you shoot over in France?
I shot a red stag. I shot I shot the. It's like there's chamois, and then there's those are the ones in the Alps, and then in the Pyrenees, they're called. Oh shoot, what are they called? What are they? They have. It's pretty much a chamois. It's just like a different
Yeah.
regional name for them, pretty much. But they're a goat,
Yeah.
or an alpine goat, and then shot ducks over on the west coast of France. watched a Eurasian widgeon get shot right in front of me. I shot some Eurasian green wings. Watched a Eurasian shoveler get shot. Then shot a roe deer, a couple of wild boars. And then
Damn, you killed it all over there.
yeah, we did. I met a guy in college. He was a foreign exchange. He got a full ride to go or to play soccer at the community college that I went to. And while he was here, I took him on a lot of duck hunts and a lot of goose hunts and a ton of fishing trips and had some really good times. And then he went back to France, and then he came back and played soccer for another college down in Arkansas. And I went down there once. Then he ended up getting that job at Big and J.
Really?
When he was
yeah. You were telling us about that.
Yeah, when he was still here, and then
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, his visa expired, and he went back, and then I ended up going there last fall, and he had a whole itinerary set up we went everywhere we went everywhere.
How was the process of like their tags and getting like
That's pretty cool. Their tag system, so towns and regions are allotted so much ground to hunt.
Yeah.
So if you're in the south of France, where there's like a village of 100 people and you got miles and miles of ground around you, those groups are allotted so much ground to hunt.
Yeah.
And the government comes in, and I think they go. I want to say they go and they spotlight and try and get an animal count for the area. And after that's all done, they are allotted so many tags for so many species. Like
really?
You guys are allotted 100 stag tags. You can have a red deer tag, red deer tag, and you can have 20 stags, and then there's the I can't remember the French names. It's been so long. I need to re-up on it.
Yeah.
But they have like does and then young.
Really?
Deer. They break them down into 3 categories, and then there's roe deer, and they're broken into bucks and does, and then boars. In most unit or most places I went to are pretty much unlimited, and that's what they like to shoot. Like they love to shoot the boars. That's what their thing is, and it's really, really, really hard to go unless you know somebody to go and hunt like by yourself or with. You have to have a local, but a lot of their hunting consists of the whole town gathers at a place, and they have these sections of their allotted grounds, and they line everybody up and they do the driven hunts.
Drives. Yeah.
I'll be down.
That's cool.
They do a couple stalks. If you go with the hunting club president, or if you let him know,
yeah,
that is set in charge in the town. It's way, way different than here. It makes me blessed to be even in Iowa compared to a lot of places. You're pretty you're unrestricted in a lot of what you can do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of first come, first serve in Iowa.
I was gonna say your guys' tag or your lottery system for your duck hunting spot sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's awful down there.
You guys saw how it was at one of them a couple weeks ago when there was 100 plus groups that showed up.
Yeah, they didn't even make it out hunting. We had
No.
some buddies up there, and by the time they decided who was hunting, who wasn't, it was like 8:30, and they were just headed out the door to get set up.
Don't get me wrong, I'd like having a blind, ready and everything when I rolled up.
You don't even get blinds.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't even get blinds.
Oh,
they
really?
no, they assign you to pools. So they may have, say, pool 5 west or pool 3 south or whatever, and say this pool is, I don't know how they actually break it down, whether it's closer to the refuge or what it is, but they may put 6 people in pool 5 west and 10 people in pool 6 west or whatever.
So you're competing with them the whole time, though.
Yeah.
You may set up, and they may be 200 yards from you over there ripping on a call the same.
Yeah, it'll really turn you off pretty quick as far as, I mean, obviously we're talking about fucking Grand Pass. It's the only place damn near in Missouri that you can, central Missouri that you can go draw into, but they hold a lot of numbers, on the refuge and stuff, but it's just not.
And you'll kill birds there, but you get a lot of people too that all they do is sky bus, and they're
only time it's good is on migrator days, is because those birds. So when I went, they know 1 o'clock.
Yeah, so you can only hunt till 1 too.
Yeah.
So like on that big day when there was that many 100 plus parties there, and they didn't get out setting up till 8:30. Well, by the time you pack all your stuff in and make a hide and start hunting, you're done at 1.
And I mean, the hard thing about it is a lot of people were like us. When we first started, we didn't have no mow marshes, no anything. We'd go and literally stand in waders and just stand in the corn. We'd just stand there, throw some decoys out. If something came in, we'd shoot it. And I mean, that's how most of the people there hunt. A lot of people, I guess, will bring boats, lay out boats and stuff. But that's people who have strictly just do that. It seems like, but I mean, it's a mess there. I don't know how many times we teal hunted it. 2 years ago now, and there's a warden that stays at it pretty well the whole time. And I think in teal season, wasn't it? You couldn't shoot. It was 30 minutes after.
Well, it's the same as in most waterfowl. Your legal shooting light, and they have it posted, and they tell you every morning.
Yeah, you can shoot at this time. Obviously, you'll get people shoot a minute before.
Legal shooting light is 30 minutes before sunrise.
Teal
correct?
is sunrise to sunset.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
Teal is sunrise. So when we were teal hunting, the people there's always knuckleheads every single year there, and they'll shoot an hour before.
Oh, it was crazy.
It was terrible.
We get people all the time up here who don't read the regs, and they're shooting half hour before.
Yeah.
And
That's how. I mean, you'll just hear boom, 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 and it's like, whoa, my
I couldn't
God.
tell you how many spoonies I saw get schwacked this year during teal season.
Yeah.
I just watched one flock get dumped into.
Yeah, we watched that one flock that buzzed us when we actually I think it was when
Oh, yeah,
you guys had come
Is that
up
when
here.
is that when we had that goose in?
That's when that
early
banded
goose
goose got
and-
robbed from us.
Yeah, and it kind of circled us, and we had goose floaters out, and I mean it was sailing right into us, and we were kind of on the point of, all right, who's gonna take it? And about that time, it was probably 60 yards off the water, and some guys just in the slough that it was basically coming over at the time was sky busted it, and like the last shell winged it, and it went down.
It was.
I think they were shooting 5s or 6s.
They were shooting lead. That goose was high. Like that, you're not hitting that thing with steel.
No, it was way up. I mean, it was locked into us, and then they were over there yelling that it was banned and stuff. And then we had a second one. It was a little higher that was working us, and it was basically the same thing, locked in. Like, all right, here it comes. And they tried it again, but they didn't.
Yeah, they thought they had
didn't.
Chris Kyle over there, and
Yeah.
they couldn't pull it second time.
Was that during the Des Moines?
Yeah, that was
Urban?
a special
Yeah.
zone.
Okay.
Yep.
At Pass and Eagle Bluff, you have to keep a wing off and put it when you bring your birds, right?
I haven't hunted pass in 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't really even remember how they do it.
I thought I remembered that they had you do that
I was gonna
at
say
the drop, like at a drop box.
you always.
They
I
might.
think you have to check. You have to check the birds down there, and there's a couple places in Iowa that used to do that, but I don't think anywhere in Iowa does that anymore.
Yeah, I'm not for sure. I know a lot of shit got messed up in COVID. That year, COVID was stupid. They started doing a bunch of online stuff, and I don't know. Like I said, usually early season wise, if we don't have a deer lined out for a weekend, we'll go. But usually early season.
I mean, there's a lot of good opportunity, and when it's good there, we have buddies that go there, and they will, shoot limits fast.
Oh, yeah,
But it is a pain dealing with a lot of people, and
a lot of it's
they hunted how many What'd they hunt? 30 parties this year, and there's 100 parties that show up.
Yeah, probably.
Well, in last year even they had some like pump problems with flooding spots, so only like half the spots were open as well, and it was kind of a
it was a messy
touchy.
situation.
I haven't
last
hunted
year.
up there in probably 2 years, but always have some buddies that go up there and they have good luck. It's just a lot to battle, and
I think Nick's got a quick draw tomorrow, right?
yeah. So they also do a quick draw on them to where, say they give away,
Say they're hunting 40 positions, they may give away
10 of them.
15,
Is that
maybe 10 or
tomorrow,
15
was it
quick
last-
draws.
Was it last Sunday? Or
Yeah, it was last
last
Sunday.
Sunday?
And it's like you enter it in online.
A week or early season or something, they just,
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. And basically, they notify you like
hey, you got a quick draw today.
this date. Like you can't really like change the date. Like, hey, this is the day you're hunting. You just hope the weather's good and that it's
And if you don't show up, then it goes to what they call the pour line. So then if, say they're hunting 30 position, or say they're hunting 40 positions, like I said, and 15 of them are quick draws and only 10 quick draws show up, well, then they got them extra 5
So then
that go to the pour line.
Yeah.
But still, if you're, say you have 30 pour line pool or people, or I guess a group of 4 is considered a party. You have 30 parties to fill and you have 100 show up, there's a pretty damn good chance you're going home. You know?
Oh yeah, because you can hunt no more than 4.
People?
Yeah. 4
Holy
people
cow.
is a
Yeah,
party.
4 people is a party.
Like the smallest hunt Steve's been on this
Yeah,
year.
you ain't kidding there.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird there. And it's weird because I've asked Nick before about yeah, if you had, someone gave you $1 million right now, like would you buy, obviously all Nick does is waterfowl. He doesn't deer hunt a whole lot anymore. And I've asked him about if someone gave him like $1 million, would he go buy like a big duck farm around home and flood it and different stuff? And he's like, oh no, he's like, I got too much shit. Like he's like, he really just likes to freelance and just find the birds. Like he puts on shit ton of miles on his truck, a shit ton of behind the glass finding birds. And he's like, hell, I'd travel. He goes Kansas, North Dakota, South Dakota. He's all over the place all the
I
time.
was gonna say when we've hunted with Nick in South Dakota and
North Dakota for early honker.
yeah, South Dakota and North Dakota with Nick. I mean, we were putting on miles, but this kid would end up on the other side of the state somehow, and we're like, "What are you doing?"
Oh yeah, Nick's insane.
Like when we were in North Dakota early hunker, I think he covered. I mean, we covered, like Steve and I covered a lot of that
Yeah.
state, but we were pretty centralized around a couple big bodies of
It's like
water.
we'd move like 10, 15 miles at a time. Nick would like call us in the south side, like south central side. And the next thing you know, call us and be like on the freaking
he
like,
called us.
Minnesota
And he
border.
was. I can't remember what was the name of that weird town we were in.
Minor.
No, there was that one. I don't know. We were.
There's a bunch of
Yeah,
little
we were.
towns there.
Say we were hanging out.
Yeah.
We were around kind of Gwinner and Lidgerwood, and
Oh, yeah.
we were checking that area for a while. And Nick called us. He's like, "Yeah, we're over in Bismarck," and we're like, "What are you doing?" And then he's like, "Well, now we're back over here," and he was 350 miles away, and we're like, "Well, we're still, we're 30 miles away from the town. We've just been checking every body of water and kind of around here. Like he covers
Yeah,
ground.
no,
It was
he
crazy.
does. And like
We need you and your chopper up there, Steve.
Yeah.
I need to
get the
myself a
helicopter
chopper.
up there.
Just put myself in debt for the foreseeable 3 lifetimes.
Yeah. No, it's pretty. He, like I said, he's an animal. Like I mean, we're driven as far as whitetail hunting goes, but as far as waterfowl hunting goes, that dude's fucking insane. Like even this weekend, he was going to come up here, but Friday night he didn't get done work until 6 or whatever. And I called him like, well, where are you hunting this weekend? Oh, I'm probably driving to Kansas. I'm like, fuck, it's 6 o'clock on a Friday.
But he didn't want to drive up here.
Yeah, dude was going to drive through the night to Kansas to duck hunt in the morning. I'm like, God, which, yeah, he's ate up with that shit. And like, we've talked about his dog before. His dog's fucking nuts. His dog's one of the best dogs I've seen. And he's, it's always exciting keeping up with Nick, and hopefully we get him on here soon because he's always going here, going there, and fun. Definitely a joy to be around hunting wise. He's always pretty dialed when it comes to setting
yeah.
up.
So he's fun to be fun to be with in the down times, and then when crunch time comes, he locks in.
Yeah, it's a flip of a switch too. He's as soon as birds start coming in, he's
You
serious.
say
boy.
he gets.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets busy like quick.
That's how it was snow goose hunting. He'd go from last year snow goose hunting with him down home. He'd go from cooking. Hell, he'd bring out 2 big old pans of,
Like breakfast casserole.
yeah, breakfast casserole. He'd eat it, and then 2 seconds later, we'd be laying down in white, and birds were coming in. And yeah, he goes from one to the next.
We were sitting outside that field in North Dakota. We had just got permission, and we were sitting there kind of watching the birds and stuff. And Nick was cooking breakfast because this was the day before, and we were like, well, we can't hunt it now, So we were waiting until the next day, and he was cooking. I can't remember what he called it, but it was like head cheese or whatever. It's that.
From the pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
can't-
Yeah, we had that.
It's
the other day.
it's delicious, but he
Yeah.
calls it some weird name, and I can't think of what he calls it. But he was cooking that.
Blood sausage.
Well, that's a name for it. I'm pretty sure it's
I can't
with
remember
a
what he
P.
calls it, but
Start with a P.
Oh, Panis.
Panis.
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
He's in
yeah.
there cooking these cakes upon us or whatever, and we're all kind of just sitting out in chairs, and messing with each other. And there was like a single honker that came by, and he just ran out of the trailer, and he's just staring around in the sky looking for it.
No,
Panis is like, I think he said it's the the meat on the pig's face. It gets
It's
boiled
it's
off.
Yeah,
delicious.
so
It's so good. Yeah,
It's so
really
good.
Yes, yeah, it's good. They like boil it off or something, and then like
Make it into like a. It looks like Spam.
yes,
a big.
That's pretty much what it is.
He cooked so much of that like when we were hunting South Dakota snows, he was cooking that all the time, and we were hunting North Dakota honkers, he was cooking it.
Yeah, They went to North Dakota this year and just beat the piss out of ducks up there.
Yeah,
They did.
I'd like to go up there early with them. We were elk hunting, which sucked, or was good, but whatever. We're already in cahoots with them. I'd really like to go up there next year.
Me and Landon got to sign the door.
You got to sign the door.
I've been on there a few times.
I would like
this
to
year.
point out that I was one of the first people to sign the door.
We were the first people to sign the door.
Yeah, because
That's bullshit.
I'm sorry.
That was Snows.
Was it?
Yeah, it was South Dakota snows.
That was the first time.
I think Steve and I, other than like his local hunting buddies, might have our name on that door more.
You know what I think we
else.
need to do once the door's all the way signed. If we can't rip the door off and replace it with a new door, I think we need to like start taking a picture from every hunt,
Oh yeah,
and then just lining the
inside of the trailer.
yeah.
For the people who don't know what we're talking about, Nick's trailer has a door on the inside that he signs with all of the hunts and birds harvested and people he's hunted with.
Yeah, and there might be a deer or two on there that's signed as well. But
It's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a really cool,
it's a
like,
dope
tradition
idea.
deal,
It's
but-
it's pretty cool when people do stuff like that. That's what's cool about. Well, obviously we're big into filming and taking pictures, and Drake is too. So it's pretty cool to see. Well, hell, Alan's got your calendar in there. I was looking at
Yeah,
earlier, but
on
it's
the wall.
that I think is probably definitely another thing that's cool about waterfowl hunting is you get to take a lot of pictures, a lot of cool opportunities to. Damn cat, you get to take a lot of cool pictures, a lot of cool opportunities to shoot a lot of stuff. So I think it's always cool to be able to look back on that, and yeah, it'd be pretty dope to post it up on the bed of his or the door of his trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That would be sweet, especially like where he has all his like batteries and stuff. If you could get all the pictures hanging in there, that'd be awesome.
that would be sick.
Nick doesn't do anything like
Half-hearted.
everything he does is full blown. If he's gonna do it, he does it to the best if he can.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, no, I like the dude a lot. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I like about him. I mean, when it comes to hunting, all of us could probably agree around this table. I don't hunt with a whole lot of people because when it comes down to it, I'm ready to hunt, and you have your good hunts, and everyone has their bad hunts, and
But this morning kind of hunt.
yeah.
Hey, we didn't get skunked though.
Hey.
Thank
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Sometimes it just don't work out, but he always means business, and that's what I like about.
Oh yeah,
hunting
he
with
ain't scared to pack up and leave and go.
No.
he ain't scared.
he will drive to a whole nother state
Yeah.
if he has to.
That dude will start in Missouri in the morning and end up in fucking Kansas by the evening.
him. I did that a time or two this year too. Me and Adam pulled some all-nighters a few weekends getting up here with you boys, and
Oh yeah.
we had some damn good times. That's for sure.
Yeah, as far as you guys coming up here, I think we slayed the doves and we got that one real good duck hunt. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it
Teal
turned to
hunt,
deer.
yeah.
teal hunt, yeah.
And then it turned to
Teal
deer
hunt.
season, and we were off on the road deer hunting and stuff back home. And that's kind of part of what kind of hurts us too. Is I always said like duck, and I mean when deer hunting's good, duck hunting's good,
That's
and
the
it's just
kicker.
it's hard to do it all. But
That's why duck hunting in Iowa is so good. I feel like because the pressure really, really, really dies down
It
about the
drop-
rut.
deer, yeah,
Oh yeah, everybody's out bow hunting. Leaves you. You can wake up at 5 o'clock, get to the spot about 6 o'clock. Give you about 4 or 5 minutes to get set up. You don't got to worry about fighting nobody, and it's full open, like first come first serve public, and you can
Hunt wherever
treat
you
it
want
like
on the
you're
lake.
Snow goose hunting last year. What we got to the field at like 1 or 1:30, 2 o'clock. It was something ridiculous. Set giant spread, hunted all day, packed up, and by the time we packed up and left, because the farmer didn't want no one driving on the field, so we were dragging everything out.
Was that when I drove up after work and busted ass up?
Yes,
Yeah.
And
and it sucked.
Yeah, the evening was bad.
The evening was
Morning
bad
wasn't
because
too- morning was pretty good, but
yeah, the morning was good. I mean, we
when
shot
Nick
20,
Locke came up.
20 or 30. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when Nick, the first
that's
time
the
Nick
first time
come
we
up.
brought Nick up with
Yeah,
us.
I was gone somewhere, but
was that when you guys stayed at the hotel and the people were bumping music super loud?
Yeah, all
Yes,
night
they were
long.
they were bumping music and smoking dope straight out in front of the
Oh
hotel.
yeah, they were
all night long.
long.
And
don't act like you didn't go join them.
And Nick's dog stole my bed.
yeah,
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, Hank don't believe in personal space.
No.
But we drug the decoys in this field. It had to
dude,
be half a mile.
Oh my goodness! I pulled up. I'm like, there's no way they drug that.
Yeah, we
that-
drug
it was
probably
rough.
1,200 socks, and I don't know how many full bodies and shit was out there.
Definitely took 4 or 5 bags of the full bodies.
Yeah, Nick had his clones. And,
Oh, the batteries, the car batteries.
yeah, we had so much stuff, and the bad thing was, not that it was your fault, Alan, by no means. I mean, you showed up last second,
It's
but
always Al's fault.
half the people that showed up like to
In the
hunt in the morning were like, oh yeah, we're leaving, left in the evening. So there was literally like 6 of us left, and half of them that was left didn't even help pick up. He knows who he is, I'm sure, but didn't even help pick up. And then it was like, damn cat again. But it was like 11:30 or midnight before we got everything picked up out of the field and back to the truck and headed off.
I say the first time I ever met Steve, everybody left us, and it was me and him picking up this
That was
entire
when I met you.
Yeah, it was the first day I met Allie and Steve.
because I was working at Pelicord.
Yep.
And I had to go. I was working second shift.
Everybody left, and me and Steve had to pick up this entire spread, and I don't think we left that field until 12:31 a.m.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about
I've
that.
got stuck picking up the spread by myself a couple different times.
Worst part is it was a Monday, so we all had to go to work on Tuesday the next day.
That's bullshit, though. If you're there to hunt, I understand if you have an emergency or you got to you have to make it to work. But
Yeah,
I mean, if
Alan.
you're in on the hunt, no matter how good or bad it is, I mean, as much as it sucks, everyone's out there doing the work. Everyone's out there, dragging them out and you setting up and tearing it back down and dragging it back out. So
Yeah, and we like to, I mean, I've kind of, just from the honker hunting and snow goose hunting, the way I've learned,
It's a lot of run and gun.
it's the way we do it. We want to be under fresh feeds. So we'll set up in a field one day. We'll set up the big spread that most people would leave up all year long and hunt out of it. We'll put that sucker up and tear it down the
Tear
same
it down.
day. Go
Absolutely.
set her up somewhere else
Set
the
up in a
next day.
different field the next day.
It burns people out in a hurry, especially when it gets to the point where farmers got ground prepped to plant and you can't drive out there and you're dragging thousands of decoys out there.
It's you and 2 other guys, and
Yeah.
Oh, it's snow goose. There's nothing better than snow goose hunting, but there's nothing worse than it
That
too
is-
when it's.
that's what we got Adam for.
Yeah, I was
We
saying-
need it.
Yeah,
Absolutely
we got
powerhouse.
we got Adam this year. We're gonna put 2 full seed bags of socks on his back this year and
We'll
send
make
them
him
out.
carry the full bodies. Carry them all.
I think the man would do it.
Yeah, he probably would.
He'd probably ask for a 3rd bag.
Yeah, but, give me 3. I said I had 2 beers.
I know we were hunting with him. When we were up here dove hunting, I think me, him, and Al went out and set up somewhere, and a ton of people showed up. So we went to move to a new spot, and we had to go. Like this spot we were running down, I think, to hunt with James, and we didn't have no time at all, and it was 100 degrees. Adam packs everything up. We had chairs and decoys.
He took
and
off
guns.
running.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, he did. He was
He
like,
did.
boys, we gotta go.
Like, I have the car keys, so I don't know where you're going.
He looked at me. He's like, "Are you ready? Let's run. We got to make it." And I was like, "It's 100 degrees. I'm already sweating."
I know the spot you guys went. It's not like a bad walk or anything, but it's just over about 3/4 of a mile from where you guys would have set up.
Oh yeah, no, it was. He carried a lot of stuff out on his back, and he ran damn near the whole way. And then we waited at the car for Alan.
Yeah, because
That came
I
walking.
had them damn waiter boots that y'all cut off. They were rubbing blisters on the bottom of my damn feet. Shit, I didn't know that was
A
possible.
little swampy out there, so you wore those things and didn't even end up going to that spot.
No, best thing that came out of that day was probably me not getting a speeding ticket.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was beneficial.
yeah.
I'm out of state a lot when you guys come up. I'm realizing that you're telling some of these stories, and I was like, I'm in a different state when you.
You were in Colorado, I think.
I think I was.
Chasing bears.
Oh yeah, that is right.
My bear hunt
Right.
turned grass hunt.
And then you were there for the second time because
Yep. Yeah.
whenever you
I took you guys out.
just went full invisible in a bean field.
Oh, when you about burnt my apartment down.
Oh yeah,
That wasn't me. I was hibachi, bro.
You
Hibachi.
burnt my apartment.
No, we were down there cleaning birds, and I looked up on the balcony, and I was like, "Damn, I don't know if he's got anything on that thing, but that grill looks like it is flaming." And he was like, "Oh," I'm like, Al's usually super good on the grill. Like, oh, he's got it under control. And we were standing down there, and I think it was
me and
me
you,
and
man.
Steve.
We were just-
And I told him, I was like, I don't know, that thing looks pretty hot. But I almost seen someone walk up to the window, and I was like, oh, they see it, it's all good. And then like the flames keep getting taller and taller, and I'm like, I hope he doesn't have nothing on that grill because it is flaming.
Yeah.
And so then Steve took off running up there, and when we got up there, you guys like had no clue, and it was burning down.
No,
There wasn't no raw hammies made that day.
No.
No, they were all
They were
cooked.
a little toasty.
You guys
very
talk
well.
about Al being some grill master, but my personal experience, the only stories I've ever heard, you get raw hamburgers or you burn an apartment down.
That's
raw-
our special. Anytime we're together, we're eating
Raw
raw
hammies.
hamburger.
The raw
Yeah.
hammies were me and Brady's doings because when we first came up here last year,
When they came up for the Deer Classic,
Yeah.
they stayed at my house, and they had just got back from Colorado, so they had like a week's worth of meat.
yeah, we had a
Yeah.
bunch of meat, and so I told Alan like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Like, we had these steaks and hamburgers and everything. We're like, we'll cook them." Well, by the time we got done with the Deer Classic and we got all the way back down to his place, and it was
It was like
cold.
10:30.
Yeah, it was like
late.
I say it's about a 2-hour drive from Des Moines
yeah,
to his place.
and it was like 30 degrees out, super windy, and I get this like small bag of charcoal. I don't know what kind of grill he's got, and he's got like this big ass grill.
Oh, yeah.
I had I should have had a lot more charcoal. Like the highest temperature we got was like 100 on the on the grill.
Yeah, it was terrible.
We were like flipping them, and
Yeah, they brought that shit in, and I looked at it, I'm like,
Yeah, we cut open the steak, and I said, "You think it's done?" I'm like, and we said, "Hey, Alan, can we sear these on your stove?"
and then we smoked out his house.
And the
set the damn smoke alarm
Yeah.
off like 3 times.
butter smokes like when it has a super low burn temperature. So when we threw butter in the pan, it fucking smoked his whole entire house out. And I felt bad for Corinne because Alan's wife bit into the hamburger, and as soon as she bit into it, I was like,
she showed me that shit, and I'm like, damn.
yeah, I was like, oh no, that's not. I mean, it literally looked like you just took a blowtorch to the outside of
It
one.
looks like you just walked up to a cow in the pasture and just yanked a part of its leg off, put it in your mouth.
Yeah, it was so bad. And then at Alan's bachelor party, he was outside grilling, brings hamburgers inside, take a bite into it just as raw.
Yeah,
It is like eating Play-Doh.
he made fun of us for the longest time about these raw hammies and
It
stuff.
was karma.
You left them on there. I don't know how that.
I don't know. Like they were done. Like I could have swore they were done.
He had them
like,
on there for a while.
They
Brought
were,
them in.
I
and
don't know how they were this pink. I have no clue. But
I think it was just God saying that you'd made fun of us enough for our raw hammies, and it was like the perfect timing to just bring them in, and they literally looked exactly like the ones that we made. It
And
was the funniest
the
thing.
funniest part is when we got done with the Deer Classic, come back here, made the raw hammies. It was already like 11:30 by the time we ate, and we laid down and got up at. That's when we got up
we
at
got
like
early.
1:30
Shit.
to go set the spread for that
the
day.
next day, yeah.
Freaking hilarious.
I can't even remember that day. Yeah. That's when we shot the 9. But whenever Drake stepped in the goddamn pig shit.
Oh
He got
yeah,
his leg-
I was wearing my flip flops out in the middle of a
he stepped in
snow goose spread,
pig
and I got a little too close to
That's
a
when that
confinement
was.
drainage.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Mm. We must have left it before they.
You all
we were
left at
headed
like
back,
9, I think.
We were headed back south. Yeah,
that's right.
but that was. I mean, that
Yeah,
was.
I mean, you guys were just bitching about people leaving before picking up, and y'all do the same shit.
All right, that was like one of the first weekends that you guys were starting to get into snows up here,
Yeah,
and
that might have been our first.
it was
2 weeks after
super
that's whenever
cold.
we shot
Yeah.
the 2 hundo.
Yeah.
It didn't turn on until later, and we
Oh,
made it up. Yeah, that other time,
yeah,
I guess.
one more
but
time.
Yeah, you
That
brought
was
it
it.
the weekend after we shot like the 200. Didn't you?
Yep. And then-
Hopefully, we
got
can
the
make it up
stragglers.
a few more times this year than what we did last year.
yeah, gonna try anyways. I'd like
Guys
to.
just gotta be ready to drop of a hat.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what. Yeah, what
I
it's
think,
gonna take.
I think Landon's gonna come up for sure for the 27th.
Yeah,
Of March.
no,
January?
Yeah,
I don't know about Brady.
I don't know.
He's gonna talk to the old lady. See
Yeah.
if he can.
Her birthday's that weekend, so I don't think I'm
Dude,
getting out of
come
that.
on, we could go.
I don't think I'm
outside.
getting out of that one.
Oh,
wrong button.
Wrong button.
No, I'll see. I don't know what she wants to do yet, but if not, I'm sure you guys will bang them out.
he didn't actually mean wrong button. He did that way. If she's listening, she's not mad.
Yeah.
He's just telling us wrong button to cover up.
Well, we're rolling up on an hour and a half, and we got to get up in several hours to go. Hopefully,
2 hours.
2 hours. Hopefully, no,
No,
not.
I'm just joking.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
we're not setting a snow
don't tempt me with a
Like,
good
I do
time.
not want to drive home right now. It's
Uh,
I live 2 hours away.
Are you gonna go home?
Yeah, I have to.
Why?
My dog.
So he can piss. I'm just joking.
Go on the floor, boy.
Yeah, piss on a pillow.
I gotta go home.
No, so yeah, we'll
If
go ahead.
it's anything like Alan's dog, you might have a hole in the middle of your bed.
Yeah. I'm
It's
sure.
being- your animals are being good right now.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, they're sleeping.
Good.
Big,
No,
old, big
but-
old fat cat underneath the
Kid,
table
the
right
cat
now.
makes the house shake whenever he jumps.
Dude,
up
he
there.
makes everything shake.
That's how-
My
Dude,
car,
that cat
my
made-
car alarm was going off earlier when he jumped off the damn desk.
So this house is gonna fall down if he jumps off of it again.
Yeah, no, they're gonna have to redo the foundation.
Just
You should have named your cat
Dude, I'm
Lizzo.
sorry, Boots. I love you.
where's it at?
Straight, like right by your feet.
Oh,
We're changing his name to Lizzo.
Is it a girl or a boy?
It's a dude.
Oh, it is.
We could call it Big E.
It's a dude.
We could call
big country.
What are we gonna call him?
Big cat tree.
Mr. Boombastic.
Jelly Roll.
Oh,
Oh, that's perfect.
That's
That
a
is
good
perfect.
cat's
That's
name.
perfect. Yes.
I like it.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
I'm super glad that we were able to come up here and get you boys on and share some stories. And you guys definitely, we can't thank you guys enough for allowing us to come up here and hunt. It's always a good time whenever.
Yeah, we even
We're with
said this
y'all
weekend
and-
we didn't care if we even shot anything. We just wanted to come up and catch up and hang out. So I think so far we've accomplished our goal.
There ain't many
Hopefully-
that work harder out there to kill birds, and we appreciate y'all not being, well, us being out of state. We don't always get to help out. We just get to come up and reap the reward. So we appreciate everything, and hopefully look forward to many more hunts with y'all.
Of course, you guys are always welcome.
We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
You can. I would say you can come down to us anytime, but we can't necessarily offer the same.
Yeah, we can go try and draw in.
Yeah.
We could go deer hunting, but you guys probably got bigger deer still.
Yeah,
So-
no kidding.
There's 150 inch hide behind every blade of grass.
Every
Yeah.
tree.
There is. We seen a bunch of them tonight, probably 30, 40 of
We
them.
saw a lot of deer tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said
Yeah.
that
They
one
were
field,
moving good.
I ran up on a couple field. I was watching some pheasants in, and there was probably 3 pretty nice ones in the back of the field.
Really?
Faisantes.
Yeah, right outside of Neil Smith.
Gosh, damn.
Hmm.
Yeah, we'll just. We just need to move up here. That way we can get away
I've
from.
been trying to get
You
y'all to move the cabinet business up here.
You honestly just
Yeah.
need to move up
I'm
here. You get
telling
the
you.
Iowa resident tag.
That would
Oh.
solve
Need.
everything.
Yeah.
That would solve global warming if you moved up.
Dude, I think it would. I think it would fix inflation and everything.
Yes, I think that.
World hunger would end too.
Yes,
I don't know how.
I think
World
that,
hunger definitely be ending after all the deer they've been slaying.
Oh, that's true.
We do know how to put some deer down.
Yeah, I mean, non-resident Missouri tags are a lot cheaper than Iowa's. So
Nah,
That
that's
is true.
that's a good
Hell, about the
point.
time we move up here, Missouri will fucking
Yeah, then they'll switch
they'll
it. We've been
change
wanting them to
fucking
switch
Missouri
it for
to-
years. Then they'll switch it no
a
sooner than
draw
we move.
state. Nah, Mo don't roll like that.
Um,
All right, fellas, we'll let you go. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you taking the time this evening to sit down with us. And like Landon said, we appreciate everything you guys do for us, letting us come up. Hopefully, one of these days we can return the favor, whether that's down in South Missouri, Arkansas, or wherever it is. If we can help out, I hope we can help you guys out as much as you've helped us out. So we appreciate everybody for listening, and I guess we'll see y'all on the next one. Don't forget to wrap your tag around the main beam.